Books make you hope. Books make you dream. Books make you laugh. Books make you scream. This is the Books That Make You show, discussing books with authors and experts, unraveling the inner pages of all the books that help make us who we are. Hosted by Desiree Duffy.
Rise up, my friends. It's time for a new day. A day filled with opportunity. One where your own self-acceptance, understanding and being fine with who you are can be linked to a sense of adventure, leadership skills, and the ability to shape your life the way you want. Have you ever asked yourself, what is unexpected about me? What is it that people would never assume about you? In other words, how do you break stereotypes? Or more importantly, are you ready to break stereotypes? Our guest today is a woman on a mission. She is an unexpected bodybuilder. She is also an author, attorney, entrepreneur, and a woman with an inspiring mission to help others rise up. Her name is Raye Mitchell, and she is the founder of the New Reality Foundation, Inc., and CEO at the Winning Edge Institute. She's a member of the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund network, providing legal support for women and girls affected by harassment. Mitchell has also received national acclaim for her work mentoring women and girls of color to beat the odds and excel as leaders. She's a graduate of Harvard Law School, the University of Southern California, USC, and so much more. She is a native of Los Angeles, and now I would like to welcome Raye Mitchell to the show. How are you doing, Raye?
Wow, I feel great. What a fabulous introduction. Thank you.
You are fabulous to introduce. There is so much there, and it was like, oh, and what I really love, too, is the idea of an unexpectedness about you. You're an unexpected bodybuilder, but then you have all of these other incredible things going on. So I just think this is so inspiring and uplifting. And I would love just to start by letting you talk about your life. You say it did not start perfectly. Can you talk about why that is and just help us get to know you a little bit?
Well, that's a great starting point. It's sort of like a storyline. You want to begin at the beginning. So I grew up in Los Angeles, as you mentioned, and I'm very proud of my family and my childhood. But on a statistical basis, we were extremely poor. I was really raised by my grandmother and my mother, and the other member of the household is my brother. So we were like the four Mitchells. And they were brilliant women in their own very humble way. Grandmother never made it past the 4th grade. My mother may have made it past the 8th grade. Both of those were in the South. So we know there was disparity in their education. But I was the odd child, chubby little girl, deep dark skin, infinitely curious, and incredibly bright. And back in that period, it wasn't always cool to be any one of those, and certainly not all four of those at once. But my grandmother was so loving, and my family was so accepting. I just learned new ways to turn what other people thought were defects into my winning way. And I found education and my voracious appetite for reading and learning to turn out to be the ticket to me discovering who I am and who I will be.
That's amazing. And I love the fact that you talk about the perceived imperfections. We all have them, and how people miss out on unexpected opportunities because of them. Can you unwrap that a little bit for us?
Sure. Let me toggle back to, for example, stereotypes abound. As the chubby, dark-skinned little girl, I would say I was growing up in the 60s, and so I was teased, but the word bully wasn't as prominent as the word it is now, but that was still part of it, but mostly because there was this whole notion that I just wasn't perfect. I couldn't be. After overall. I didn't look the right size. I didn't have the right economic background, and I couldn't even be smart. And in fact, the teachers were not believing in my intellect. And the truth be told, okay, here it is. It's a disclosure. I was more truant from the second grade to the fifth grade than I was there. That's what they called it then. They called it truant. Now I guess it's absent from school. And so I really found that it was unexpected when at one point this student teacher from UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles, said instead of testing her to find out how deficient she is, she had and asked and got approval to test me for the newly formed California Los Angeles Unified School District's gifted program. Well, the test results came back, and lo and behold, she's gifted on the other end of the scale. And I think that was my first sort of official beginning of, I have all these unexpected, surprising skills and capabilities. And if I believe what other people say, I have nowhere to go. So you fast forward to where I am right now. And I'm just right now, I do weightlifting and weight training. And at first, I just did it from a practical standpoint, just trying to keep the stress down as a hard-charging litigator. And of course, it was a nice benefit. I think during the course of my last few years, I lost about 65 pounds. That wasn't my driving motive, but, okay, it worked.
It happens.
But then I turned to, I'm not interested in trying to become somebody else. I just want to sculpt my body, and whatever that means, to become strong. And so that's what I became, the unexpected bodybuilder, because you think of bodybuilders and you think of these people that are cut and buffed and perfect. And I'm strong. And I'm perfect in my own perfectly flawed way.
I love that. And do you ever think back and wonder what might have happened if that instructor from USC hadn't identified that? I mean, that has to be a pinnacle point in your life where there was two paths, and thankfully that happened, right?
Well, I believe that God puts everything in the right place at the right time. But if that were not my moment to shine, statistics would have said that it just wouldn't have worked. The educational system would never have given me the opportunity to turn from truant to truly fabulous, because they just didn't see that I had any capacity. And I think being, again, the dark skin, the colorism, and the bias based on color is still real. And so you had all these mounting setbacks. I don't know, crime, it happens a lot because we don't get opportunities. The truth be told, all right, second reveal. I don't have a high school diploma, all right? Okay, I have to tell the truth. And so I go from being a truant to getting into the gifted program, and I went from practically zero attendance to 100% attendance. And I was on my own track, and you talk about self-acceptance, and I was able to take and learn at my own pace. So I was pacing out of classes. And by the time I got to high school, I really had finished the high school curriculum. And rather than languish, there was another inflection point. A counselor suggested that I go for early admissions to the University of Southern California, USC, Go Trojans. And I got in early. So there's just been these pivotal moments where people that believed in me saw something that was unexpected, once again. So I don't know. I like to believe that God had a perfect plan, and if it wasn't this, there would have been something else. But I'm so grateful that this is the plan that's manifested itself so far.
I love that. That's inspiring. You're giving me goosebumps. Really, it's just an amazing, amazing story. And now you're using this to inspire others for their personal battle plan. How does that work? What do you mean by that?
Well, so again, as a writer, every story has a story, so I'll be quick about it. I've been doing this workout, and I was very self-contained in my silo. I mean, I was just working. Losing weight was nice, but it wasn't like I wasn't running around to the world saying like, oh, I don't like myself because I'm larger size. In fact, I used the phrase above average. And if the average woman is supposedly a size 12 or 14 or 16, I'm above average. And so there are all those pretty words out there. Oh, plus size. Oh, queen size. And the list goes on, right? I was like, that sounds so apologetic. I'm an above average woman. And that just sounds so brilliant. And I'm not into snark or putting other people down, but on the other end, the ladies, my sisters that are size 2 and 4 and 6 and 8, they're called petite. I said, yeah, but if this were a mean world, they would be called below average. and the only reason I would say that is because now how do you like that?
Right.
Because people they don't think that words matter, and they don't. But at the same time, words start to create stereotypes. And I'm not into stereotypes. I can't. I didn't get into Harvard Law School believing that I was a stereotype. I got into Harvard Law School because I had merit and ability and capacity. And so that's sort of the way I drive my life. And they've led to these great adventures. So I started working on this notion called the battle plan, which is kind of new. So you gotta give me a minute to get it right. So it's an acronym for the best approach to, let me do it right, the best approach to terrifically healthy life energy.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah,
it's a great acronym.
Yeah, I'm totally into that. I'm like this creative nerd about stuff like that. And so the notion became, how do you get people to think about new adventures? Because all of my writing, all of my stories, all of my hope, all of my effort at inspiration is to help people, including myself, look at life as a series of new adventures. Bodybuilding is a new adventure. That is a big courage moment for me to have the nerve, in some people's eyes, not in mine, to call myself a bodybuilder. Because those words are usually reserved for, as I said, the people that are on the cut ad. And I was like, no, if we're going to eliminate discrimination, people of above average size are among some of the most discriminated against groups. And so that takes me back to the work I like to do with young women and girls. And so I thought bodybuilding is a way to build and sculpt the life you want from the inside out. Make yourself fit and healthy however you see it, however you accept yourself, and not get tied into this notion of who you should be and become who you want to be.
I love that. And what you're saying is everybody, it's applicable to everybody. And in your unique situation, it's a matter of your body. In some other people's situations, everybody has their thing, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for me, bodybuilding is the rip off of, instead of talking about body, physical body, I like to look at it as the body and the sculpting of my entirety of my life. It's from my intellectual curiosity to my creative spirit to my unyielding desire to make sure I serve God and my community, and bundling these things up. And so when I say bodybuilding, I'm building the body of that which makes my life of use to myself and to others, to God and to the community. So, again, kind of a nerdville, but that's okay. I like being a nerd too. And it's a way of talking to people. And I guess the real reason that I started to own it is that after I had a major health incident that really left me with two options: go to emergency surgery or face death. The surgery which I took because I'm talking to you. Voila. See, you can figure this out. But it left me with the prognosis of incredibly debilitating pain, possibly for the rest of my life. Unable to really move and even do what I was doing before the operation. And I said, no, that's just not the way I'm going to do it. So I started walking just to be moving. And then as I got a little stronger, I met up with my trainer and I said, I'm just going to go for an intense personal training. And lo and behold, he had been videotaping and capturing my experience. And on his channel, he said there were people champing me on, go Raye, go Raye. And in my life, I never thought that I could be an inspiration to other people and around this notion of weight loss or bodybuilding, because I just never saw that as an experience. But then I said I was going to own it because that's a new adventure, and this is the first time I'm uttering those words.
I love it. And I love that your focus is on women, and specifically, in many cases, women of color. Can we talk about that a bit and about your mission and how that all ties together?
Sure. So this is 2018. Mm-hmm. So literally 11 years ago, I found myself restless, which is not unusual. And so my law firm and my business practice was really, really healthy and doing extremely well. And I was like, okay, what's the question of the day? What's your next adventure? And I really found that I was gravitating toward building more philanthropic enterprises and work. So I started a foundation, and the foundation is called the New Reality Foundation. Mm-hmm. And the focus is on preparing young women and girls, and in particular young Black girls, to be the next generation of global leaders. And I turned to that because I'm a girl, and I was a Black girl, and I found that so many times our young Black girls are misunderstood. They're not perceived to be the ones that will be the ones that will take the leadership helm. And I wanted to create a series of learning and workshops and work where I can get the secrets to them earlier in the curve as opposed to later in life. And it's been a phenomenal journey. I've done workshops. We've earned awards, but working with those young girls and telling them that I believe in you is the most amazing experience. And so fast forwarding as I mature the curriculum, I thought bodybuilding would be an excellent way to both affirm personal fitness, but also just accepting your body as the totality of who you are without sacrificing health and wellness, because we all want to be fit, and we all want to be healthy, and we all want to be well. Mm-hmm. But that means different things for different people. And I think that would be of great benefit for the next part of my journey, is having young girls look at me and see that I am very self-accepting. I'm having a good time in my life, and I'm still working on being healthy, which doesn't translate to trying to get down to a certain size or dimension or configuration. Although it will happen,
Right. But that's not the intention. That's a side effect. A good side effect, but it's not. Yep.
Except it got very expensive to keep having to buy new clothes.
That's got to be some fun shopping, though. You got to admit.
Well, yes and no. It does get to be peculiar because you're like, man, I'm gonna buy this really, really fierce outfit, but you got to be careful because this time next month it may not fit.
Right.
And the part of self-acceptance is, you don't wait to become somebody. You love yourself and the life you have right now. And so you don't want to be walking around in stuff too small. That's not cool. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to be walking around in stuff too big, because that's not cool. So it's a constant staying in the moment. The biggest thrill I have is learning the discipline of mindfulness and staying in the moment. And these are new skills skills because I'm like, look, I'm in charge of the world. I'm a lawyer. I fix stuff for everyone. And this is a different energy, a different experience.
Yeah, it's a great energy. And it's so true. Even it seems in some cases nowadays, people create these personas online that aren't necessarily them. And I always wonder about, well, who's the real person behind that? Not that there's anything wrong with putting your best self out there and being proud of that. But at the same time, are we as a society learning, and especially some of our younger people, are we teaching them that they should always want to be something else rather than accepting of who they are?
Yeah, and I also, when I use the term self-acceptance, it's a component of self-confidence. And I'm not suggesting that we create these negative cycles where it's all about me and I'm perfect and you're not. I'm using it in a much more positive concept of I like me. But it doesn't mean that I can't create an improved version of me. So when I talk about working out, I mean, when I go down there 7 days a week, my goal is, I was like, I'm going to get stronger today. Or when he gives me an exercise that I was like, this is so hard. I'm a whiner. I purposely whine. He's like, you know you're whining and you know you can do it. I was like, I know, but it has to be part of the drama. And, but it's that notion of accomplishing something. And I want to share that, whether it's with these young girls and young women that I work with. But I also have a fairly growing population of women of a certain age, and I'll use the term above average in age. And the reason being is it's sort of like we're disbelieved when we're young women and girls. And then when we get to be, 40, 50, heaven forbid if you become 60.
I know, right?
And there's this notion that you're not of value. And I'm like, guess what? You're not dead at 60. And so I really find that my message can be useful to anybody who wants to elevate their lives, discard the way in which they can sculpt their life from the inside out so that they're living an above average life in whatever and however they define it.
I love that. I love that. So let's talk a little bit, because believe it, I could talk to you all day, Raye. But unfortunately, we've got to wrap up in a little bit here. But I want to give you an opportunity to talk about your books and your writing and The Winning Edge. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, and I'm going to make this one quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's like if I were in court. So I started, along with my philanthropic work, I started to discover this talent, this skill, this drive, and this passion as a writer and a storyteller. And it's always been inside, but sort of like my bodybuilding notion, it was only a few years ago, maybe 10 now that I think about it, that I gave myself permission to own that. So I started writing out loud. Before, you write secretly. And so what I write about right now are all things that allow me to transfer knowledge from my experiences to those people that would be interested, whether it's young women and girls or women of a certain age and young women of color, and in particular, young Black women and girls. So, for example, I have 3 books right out now. One is called How to Negotiate from a Position of Strength. And that is it's really how women negotiate from a position of strength. Mm-hmm. And it's about how can we use our assets, our brand, our reputation to get the best deal that we need when we're out to get a good deal. And every situation requires a different combination of facts. So that's one book. Related to that is a book that started the concept, and it was called How do women of color master the art of persuasion to win big battles? And I borrowed from my alumni classmate, Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high. And the genesis of that is that we always find ourselves, we across the board, engaged in things where we have to persuade people to do something. And, you know, we deal with the stereotypes, and sometimes we get dragged into non-productive conversations that take our energy away. So I really wanted to get at the notion of persuasion. There are no books out there that I found that directly addressed the art of persuasion as it relates to women of color or Black women. Mm-hmm. And then the third book is about the experiences of young Black girls, and it's called Invisible No More. And how do we empower young Black girls to rise up as global leaders? And the sum total of all these come under the umbrella of the winning edge, because what I'm trying to do is have people tap that winning edge, that sense of something inside of them that drives them to go to the next level, to the next level, to the next. And they all relate to how do you sculpt your life from the inside out. So there is relationship across these concepts. And then I'm starting to write creative nonfiction, and I'm growing as a writer. So there'll be more things, but they all tend to relate to our humanness and our connectivity. And how do we take our so-called flaws and setbacks and stereotypes and disappointments and turn them into magnificent life experiences and adventures and live healthy and maximize our wellness. So that's my vision and my effort.
I love it. I love it. And then in addition to that writing, what other plans do you have for the future? I know you're doing workshops and you've got a lot of things going on.
Well, my biggest is one of the things I want to do is this will be a hold me to it moment. So
because you're saying it now.
I know. The Miss America competition announced in mid-June of 2018 that they were eliminating the what I call the size barrier, where they were making it open to young women and girls aged 17 to 25, regardless of shape, size, and configuration. And so I thought, well, that's exciting, but wouldn't it be nice if I could lead the charge to break the age barrier in the Miss America competition and get them to open the doors to us women, I use that phrase, above a certain age. And so I will be 60 years old next year. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't believe I'm telling that to the world, but that's okay.
Be proud of every single year. Just be proud of every single year.
Yeah.
That's what I say.
Well, you know, it's actually, again, it's part of that coolness, because I was like, yeah, you know, I'm 60.
Yep.
Or will be. And so as a writer and a dreamer, I said, I want to enter the Miss America competition at age 60. Now, I have a little work to do. I have to lobby them to see if they'll accept it. Sure. But it's not about me. I want to be able to work with and train young girls who are above average in size so that they too can use the Miss America competition as a shining opportunity on the hill. They've never been welcomed before. And so I want to be able to do the training and the self-confidence and the self-acceptance so that those that want to do that, because, you know, they offer scholarships. Mm-hmm. And I think it would just be a fabulous opportunity to break down those barriers and open the doors for opportunity. So I'm going to do it.
Congratulations. I love it.
Yeah, even if I have to do my own version of it. Mm-hmm. My platform is peace and taking down conflict. Mm-hmm. And because I'm a big believer in health and wellness, and I think uncontrolled conflict and these exchanges that are so negative, particularly nowadays, are deteriorating our health. Yeah. So I want to train young girls and other interested people in deconfliction skills and conflict management skills. I mean, after all, as a trained litigation attorney, I implemented enough conflict. And so it all ties together to my stated purpose is, how can I contribute to positive conversations, healthy conversations about self-acceptance and finding purpose and renovating ourselves each way along the line. So that's sort of where I am philosophically, and trying to turn my little bodybuilding into like, oh, this hurts so much, but it's not.
Now, where can people who want to join you or find you, how can they join in your journey? Can they find you on social media? Can you tell us your website and let people know where they can find your books as well?
Well, first of all, the books are all available on Amazon.com. And the important thing is I spell my name Raye, R-A-Y-E, Mitchell. That's important. And then you'll find me by general Google. My personal website is drrayemitchell.com, and that will be spelled D-R-R-A-Y-E Mitchell.com. That's also my Twitter handle at drrayemitchell.com. And when you get to the website, it will link you to a host of my other things, because I will have more forums coming. For example, we are building out the blog called Raye's Journey, where I will be sharing this journey that I've been on and the journey that I'm purporting to go on. I hope to have videos from my feverish workouts. I want to invite anybody who wants to go on their own personal health and wellness journey to come along and discover how they can renovate their lives in any way they choose. And I look forward to depositing positive energy, and I exceptionally look forward to receiving positive energy.
Yes, that's what it's all about. I love it.
Yeah.
Dr. Raye Mitchell, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, ma'am. I had such a pleasure. It's so easy to talk to you. Keep up the good work.
Likewise. Thank you again. And again, my name is Desiree Duffy. Thank you, everybody, for listening today. And you can find out more about Books That Make You on our website. That's booksthatmakeyou.com. And you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, enjoy all the books that make you who you are.
The executive producer for Books That Make You is Desiree Duffy. Produced and sound mastered by Phil Giangrande. Engineering by Dave Nabox. Social media and promotion by Bree Sweeter. For more, visit booksthatmakeyou.com.